What is up, people of the internet? It is me, Real American Politics, back in with a new video. And today it is time. We discuss a topic that I've kind of always avoided on this channel because I don't think people have always been interested in this topic, but with the recent news that came out with the recent data, I think it's time we get into the realm of economics. Now, before I talk about economics, I'm not going to come out here and say I'm a genius at it, that I know everything. What I am going to say, though, is I'm going to give what my knowledge of economics, all right? Which it's not, some master's degree level economics, all right? I just know the basic economic policies, and I want to talk about it because I have to be real with everybody here. This is a time in American history where I would be worried economically about your future. I hate to be like that, but it's going to get bad. And the recent data points that just got released by the BLS, the Bureau of Labor Statistics, that's how you say them, is pointing to a direction that is not good. Now, before we talk about that depressing topic, I hope you enjoy these type of videos. If you do, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with friends, hit the little bell, and yes. So, what am I exactly talking about? What is really happening? Now, I need some context before we talk about it. There's one metric that I like to use to show you how screwed we are. It's called the Consumer Price Index. Now, TLDR, alright, it's kind of the best inflation metric, It's an index for, the average consumer price for goods. I believe it's like the basket goods, like food items and stuff. It's kind of the best way to look at things. And this metric tells you how bad inflation is getting, and it's indexed in 1983, which is right after the 70s. If you don't know the 70s, bad inflation, but we may be heading towards a worst case scenario, worse than the 70s. And you look at the inflation numbers, for most of the time this CPI has existed, inflation has, gone up, a little bit here and there, alright? It was not bad. Then the 70s happened, and it did increase quite a bit. It increased dramatically. Then it started to stabilize, and it's been kind of a constant trend upwards, but not so extreme like it was in the 70s. Then we had some cracks form. 2008. But luckily, instead of, the CPI exploding, it went up just a couple months. Then it went down, and it stabilized. There was a constant trend after that. Then, this little gray bar happened over here. 2020. Everybody knows what happened. COVID. Yay. Woo. COVID. This happened, and the CPI decreased. Then it increased a little bit. And it's kind of self-corrected like it was in 2020. Or 2008. And most people, including myself, thought, okay, inflation's not going to be bad, alright? Yeah, the CPI was starting to increase a little bit too much for my liking before Biden got in office, but that was mostly because everything was self-corrected, alright? This was like a 1-month thing. Then February hit, increased by a full point. And I was like, okay, now we're done. But then, March of 2021 happened. This is when I knew, okay, we're screwed. For the dumbest reason possible, Congress thought that with our economy recovering and doing it without the need of the government, unemployment was going down, people were going back to work, that, let's spend more money. And the CPI has exploded after that. This was the turning point. This is when I knew immediately the CPI was just going to blow up. And it did. It's getting worse and worse. And it's not like, to the 70s where, hey, at least it's starting to seem like it's starting to curve. Folks, this is starting to look like this is the beginning of something awful. And everybody thought, okay, August or September, it was slowing down. Like, finally, we're out of this bind. Then it dramatically increased again, and again, and again, and again. Guys, this inflation stuff is not going anywhere. We're going to struggle for the next couple of years. Now, why did this happen? And I alluded to this earlier. The government blowing things up. Now, as everybody knows, I am unique in economics. I am what you would call center-right economically. I of course, believe in a free market. I believe in low taxes. I love low taxes. If you don't like low taxes, you're an idiot, alright? But I do think that, the rich shouldn't be able to pay like 0% income taxes. That's what I believe. And I believe the government spending, relatively speaking, I'm fine with it being there, but meant for the people directly. Like, okay, we're going to help people via lower taxes, direct government plans for families, all of that. And in 2008, this is show you how ridiculous this is. The government spent, a couple $100 billion, all right, in 2008 to get the economy going. Well, then COVID hit. They spent, in this quarter alone, increased their spending by $3.5 trillion. 1 quarter. They increased by $3.5 trillion. That is not what you're supposed to do. That is excessive. And by the way, like everybody knows, most of that didn't go to the regular person, all right? A lot of it went to corporate interests. A lot of it went to people that shouldn't have gotten it. And working people got screwed. Absolutely screwed. But things were starting to recover. Like, okay, it dramatically decreased. It was down to $8.4 trillion. Everybody thought, okay, no more stupid spending programs. Then in December 2020, there was a mini package passed that really didn't do much. It increased it by like $100 billion, but at this point, that's peanuts. That's absolute peanuts right now. So everybody thought, okay, it's over. But then Biden did a Biden thing. He passed his own package. It's one of those crappy packages that somehow did even less than Trump's COVID package, which again, I've criticized. Didn't do enough to help actual people and small businesses. But this one here, this was just a Democrat wet dream. That's what it was. I hate to sound like a boomer con, but that's flat out what it was. I mean, a lot of went to blue states that have a lot of debt issues, and it was a scam. This package did not help people. It screwed people over, and you notice it directly correlates with the explosion of the CPI. Interesting. And by the way, this was so stupid of them. Like, people may say, oh, well, there was COVID, it was affecting people, yada, yada, yada. Folks, look at the unemployment rate in that part of the year. So, in March 2021, it was 6%, all right? In January 2021, it was 6.4%. Trump's economic policy, which helped people, all right? I know people are going to say, it actually didn't. According to a certain university study, it actually helped the rich, yada, yada, yada. Those people know nothing about tax code. Look, if you know anything about basic tax codes, which I'm not saying I'm an expert, but if you know anything of how taxes work in America, no matter what you do, you could cut taxes for people that make $2,000 a year. It's still technically a tax cut for those that make hundreds, if not millions of dollars a year. This is how the tax code works. And you look at what happened with Trump's policy. Manufacturing jobs came back. And the unemployment rate that Trump had, right? The jobs that he created, they're not like these crappy jobs that Biden has created. These are real jobs. These are manufacturing, lumber. These are high-paying, blue-collar, good jobs. All right? And again, that was 3.5% unemployment. These are good jobs, by the way. Again, like I said, most of these jobs that Biden has quote-unquote created, they're all crappy service-based jobs. They're jobs nobody wants. But people kind of have to get them because they're the only jobs available. And you look at this, these jobs that were created in the first half of the year, these were mostly manufacturing and lumber jobs. These are good paying jobs. So Biden had to do nothing. And these jobs would have just came back to him. Instead, the Democrats got cocky. And they spent the package. And while unemployment went down, like I said, most of these jobs were crappy, low-paying, service-based jobs. And you want proof of that? Look right here. This is earnings for all employees on private non-farm payrolls. Yada, yada, yada. Real average hourly wages in January 2021 were on average $11.4 an hour. Right? Real. Like, this is actual, your money. That's actually worth something. In January 2022, it was $11.20. 21-cent decrease. Sure, the quote-unquote unweighed wages, the unadjusted wages, went up like $2 or $1.50. That's crap. Who cares if it went up $1.50 when inflation went up dramatically? That's peanuts. So this is a bad sign. This is what I mean that, hey, these are not good jobs. These are overinflated jobs that these are the jobs that nobody wants. Service-based jobs that pay crappy, have no benefits, no savings, nothing. They're crap jobs. And this is not to include oil or gas prices. Now, there's been some misconceptions about Trump's, gas prices, but certainly it was never this bad. I mean, only for like 2 months it was bad under Trump, and that was because of certain things that happened in the certain part of the world. But outside of that, it was low-ish, lower than usual for a president. And Biden had to do nothing, right? All Biden had to do was like, okay, just sit back and do nothing. Then he began to revoke permits for gas, for oil companies. Then that went up a lot. Then he passed more regulation that just destroyed so many oil permits, so many just jobs. And this affects people too. People need to pay for gas. People need to pay for goods that come from trucks that need gas. So you get the point that all of this combined, this economy is not going anywhere good. I mean, these are not good jobs. The inflation's getting worse. And it's just coming together of like a complete shitstorm. Now, the question is this: how do we get out of this? Put it simply, there's one solution. Cut government spending and I would say just cut taxes, right? I hate to say that, but that's the only solution. At this point, you need to get real jobs back. And that involves cutting taxes, cutting spending dramatically, and actually push for real paying jobs. Not these McDonald's jobs that pay like shit, all right, compared to the actual wages. Get good paying manufacturing jobs like under Trump. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this boring-ish video, I guess you could say. If you did, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with friends, hit the little bell, and yes. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Godspeed to all of you.